Hi, in this video we'll discuss about working with real devices and emulators, also known as virtual devices, in Android Studio. Before publishing your app on the Play Store, it is a good practice to always test it in at least one real device, if not multiple devices, having different screen sizes and resolutions to make sure that your app is working as expected. You can access the Android Device Manager or AVD Manager either by clicking the toolbar icon that looks like a phone with an Android head on the bottom right corner, or by accessing the Tools menu and then going to Android and selecting AVD Manager from here. By default, during installation, Android Studio creates a Nexus 5 virtual device that you can use to test and debug your applications. We can manage a virtual device by clicking the down arrow from the Actions column, and that will allow us to duplicate it, to wipe its data, restoring its default settings, to browse the actual device on the hard drive, to view more information about it, or to delete it. By selecting the View Details, we obtain more information about the virtual device, like its SD card size, the RAM size, the screen density, and so on. We can also see that this device takes about 1 GB of hard drive space. By clicking the green pencil, we can change the main settings for this device, like its name, the device that this is emulating, the Android version that is running, the startup screen size and orientation, and so forth. If you installed Intel Hardware Accelerated Execution Manager drivers or HAXM, make sure that Use Host GPU is checked. This will speed up the emulator. In this example, I will lower the amount of allocated RAM from 1.5 GB to 1 GB and will save the changes by clicking the Finish button. In order to start the emulator, I'll press the green Start button. When running the emulator for the first time, the startup process takes a few good moments, so you will have to be patient. While this emulator is starting, let's create a new one. We can do that by clicking the Create Virtual Device button. We then get to choose from several form factors like Android TV, phones, Android Wear, and tablets. For this example, I will use a Nexus 7 tablet. I'll press Next, and then we get to choose a system image for our emulator. Depending on the system images installed on your system, there will be more or less options available. I will choose the latest version of Android at this time, API level 22. Here you'll have the chance to download another Android version in case you want to, but I will keep the latest Android version, API 22, for this emulator. Finally, we are presented with the same screen as before, the one that lets us define the main emulator's settings. I will again lower the amount of RAM from 1.5 to 1 GB and will press Finish. The new emulator appears in the Android Virtual Device Manager list. I will press Run in order to start this emulator also. The number of running emulators will be dictated by your system resources, especially memory. As long as you have enough RAM on your system, you can run as many emulators as you like. I'll leave these emulators running and will connect my real device, which is a Nexus 5 phone, to the computer by using the USB cable. It's important to notice here that in order to be able to run your application on your real device, USB debugging has to be enabled on your device. As soon as I connect the phone to the computer, a new Windows Explorer application pops up that will allow me to browse the phone's content. That's a sign that the drivers for the phone are correctly installed in the system. To double check that, you will need to go to the Start menu, right-click on this PC and select Properties from there. Next we select Device Manager, and under Portable Devices we can find the Nexus 5. In case your device appears in the list with a yellow or red icon next to it, you will need to install the drivers for it. Usually you can obtain these drivers from the device manufacturer's website. In my case, I'm using a Nexus 5 phone, which is fully supported by Google. If the drivers for my phone were not installed, I will have to launch the Android SDK Manager, and by browsing the Extras folder, we'll have to make sure that the Google USB driver is installed. And now if I'm running the application, after a few moments a new window pops up, letting me choose the device that I want to use for my application. We can see that both emulators have started along with my Nexus 5 phone, which I will need to authorize. Okay, I've authorized the Nexus 5 phone and now appears between the two emulators. I'll select it and will press OK in order to run the application on it. And after a few moments we can see that the application has been uploaded and installed on my device. A couple of seconds later I can see the application running on my phone. I'll launch the application one more time just to show you how you can run it on multiple devices simultaneously. And this is how we use and manage our Android virtual devices or real devices in Android Studio. Thanks for watching and see you soon.